Step into the spectrum where the quiet learn to speak. Where cowards lose their cover and the bold become unique. Black pages birth the light. Every pigment takes its role. If you came here once unseen, this art will make you whole. Welcome to the canvas where excuses come to die. Where ink comes down to timid and colors testify. No shelter in the palette, broken edges forge you whole. This is conversations in color and I am Unfold the Soul. Yeah. And I am Unfold the Soul.
Welcome to Conversations in Color with Unfold the Soul. I'm your host, Ken Williams. I'm an artish. I'm an artish because I don't know shit about art, but I make a lot of it. Behind me on the wall is my hand-drawn art. And each episode, I'm going to take a walk to the wall, pull a piece. I'm going to bring it here. We're going to chop it up. I want to welcome back any viewers and welcome brand new viewers to this show. I'm always honored and humbled when a leader reaches out and there might be a way I can serve them. I don't take it for granted. I appreciate when I cross someone's eyes or when someone believes that I've got something that can help them move their leadership along. One of the most common questions, concerns I get from leaders, whether we are setting up a PD day or they're just reaching out for some coaching, is this: Ken, we're looking at data and right away teachers are making excuses, talking about these kids don't come to school and the parents are this and they came in low and our demographic and population has changed and we have a lot of special eds and we have ELs and all the things. And principals want to know how, here's the great question. How do I make teachers accountable for the data? And what words of inspiration can I use with our teachers? And let's take a walk to the wall. I'm gonna put my phone aside. Wait, what? Huh? Look at me getting fancy. That's fancy right there. That is fancy. I got to give my wife credit. Gave me a challenge. Sometimes my art is wordy and tough to read from way back. So I figured it out. And look, you impressed, Allison? I got fancy. This piece is called The Kid's Shield. On the left side, it's what leaders say to teachers. On the right side is the, I know, unintentional, but clearly unspoken message to teachers. So what leaders say to teachers is, we have to remember who our kids are. Our kids face a lot. Many of our kids deal with trauma. These kids come from difficult circumstances. We need you to meet kids where they are. So there is a natural order to things. There's a natural order to things. So when you ask teachers to remember all those things, and then you put data up and ask them to be accountable for that data, teachers by nature, human nature, aren't making excuses. They're following what you told them to focus on. They're not making excuses. Teachers are faithful followers of what you make matter. And when you make demographics matter, that means teacher expertise doesn't matter. What teachers may not be able to express intellectually, but they know just by nature, is that what you're asking them to be accountable for is impossible. And they're reminding you why it's impossible. They don't have any control of who comes to school. They have no control over parents. This, again, inside the education bubble, you try to call this leadership. This is not leadership. Leaders don't celebrate factors they cannot control. And what happens is when everyone's doing it, leaders believe they are noble, heroic, that their work is noble, heroic hardship. It is not. It is victimhood, because you are chasing with passion and fervor impossible work. I'm 58. I got an artificial hip. I'm an athlete. I'm athletic. But in my prime, I couldn't dunk a basketball. So just imagine watching a YouTube channel that just chronicles me at 58 trying to dunk on a hoop. It doesn't matter how much motivation you give me. After a while, you're gonna start saying, that poor bastard, he's chasing something impossible. But more than that, teachers are a direct reflection of leadership. Every day of the week, I tell principals all the time, I can come to your school, talk to 5 teachers, and I can tell you how to be in lead. I talk to 5 teachers, and I know how to be in lead. But you're so into demographics that you have no sense of the fact that what your teachers say is what you say. Your unspoken message to teachers: protect kids from your strongest instruction. Lower the demand, soften the work. These kids can't handle it. What you tell teachers every time you mention the demographics is your expertise can't do shit about that. That is all teachers hear all year long, except for the 23 minutes they get to interview. That's the only time they sound like experts. After that, they have no capacity to fix ELs, no capacity to fix your special eds, whatever your categories are, because you're not even into kids. You're into categories. You're only into circumstance. Those are the only kids you talk about. And that's because you're hiding behind them, trying to measure something impossible. And everybody's doing it to an extent. And that's why it feels normal. And that's why I sound crazy. And I'm not regarded as one of your vaunted scholars because I don't use a bunch of research. I go to nature for everything. I go to nature for everything. There's a natural order to things. And teachers letting you know that they can't control who comes to school, when they come to school, and what condition they come to school, whether they got the homework, then they can't control any of that. That's the natural order of things, baby. Because you throwing up data, trying to attach it to them. Data only shows the impact of a teacher's strongest instruction. I know I'm a hell of a teacher. And if I get one group of kids one year, I'm going to have this impact. If I get kids coming out of a forest who've been living off the grid for the last 2 years, they may have learned a lot and discovered a ton of stuff in nature, but they may have trouble adjusting to traditional schools. I may have a different impact. Who knows? The bottom line is that they get my strongest instruction every day, regardless of culture, scent, or pedigree. And if you talked with your teachers all year about their credentials, you would know better than to try to saddle them with making Mexicans learning matter. But you are passionately pursuing something you cannot measure and trying to call it leadership, and it is not. It is not. It's effervescent victimhood. The principal's work is not heroic when you're about kids. It is heroic when every staff member gets to unfold as a self-directed content expert. You see how tangible that is? That helps you get away from all this intentionality bullshit. And the only reason you talk about intentionality is because you're not chasing anything real. Even principals who text me with their so-called gains, you can't get excited about them. Let me show you another one. This piece is called the comparison escape. What leaders say: our school's demographic and population is different than other schools. The unspoken message to teachers: results follow kids, not my teachers and not my leadership. And then you wonder why teachers push back when you want them to be accountable for things they literally cannot be accountable for. And I'm telling you, this shit just runs downhill. When you're trying to be accountable for things you cannot measure, no one has capacity. That's why superintendents talk about principals like they have no capacity. Principals talk about teachers like they have no capacity. And teachers are not even a problem at all. Not even in the least. Because teachers follow. And no teacher told that the impact of your expertise, your strongest instruction is what I need. And let's start the year with a plan to unfold you as a content expert. How do you want to get great? What are the things that scare you a little bit? What kind of stretch goal do you have as a content expert? And then we celebrate that data. How many teachers got to a conference this month? How many did some online training that enhanced their expertise? You talk about none of that, because you're too busy trying to help your ELs. It's a game. And you think it leadership, but it is not, because no place in history has a leader ever been a victim. Leaders don't talk about what they're up against. I was at the lowest performing school in the district, in the straight hood. I wasn't talking about my teachers about no damn poverty. Shit they can't control. First of all, my ego alone. I protected our borders because I didn't let anything in the school. I would not talk about anything that could be depicted as stronger than me and my capacity to get my teachers what they need to become better experts. And I'll be honest with you, I wasn't hammering teacher expertise as explicitly as I am now. But I'm a student of leadership and a student of nature, that even as demographics were coming into this year, I knew ultimately, and we have teachers and leaders like this, I knew ultimately how to lead. I knew that whatever we're going to accomplish, it was going to be because of my people and how I grow them. So even after the compliant bullshit, as soon as a teacher came to me and was like, these kids they're from us. I can't do shit about where they're from, babe, but I can make you better. What can I get you? What can I get you? Took them right back to that. And that's the stuff we celebrated. That's what we celebrated. Because my teacher expertise matters. It's the only thing we've got. So don't wonder why teachers start comparing schools from one side of the town to another, because that's what leaders talk to teachers about. I talk to my teachers about, hey, what do we want to be known as? Like, what does our school want to be known as? And at my last school, I wanted to be known as a school where the good teachers there, like teachers who are really strong teachers, would text their friends and say, you should come over here and see what's going on. No, I don't know heroic shit. Never know heroic shit. No savior shit. It was always about what teachers and staff got to do, what they get to do. Just like at a college and university where you're bragging about your faculty. But you can't do that and then throw data up on the screen measuring your poor white kids and their achievement as if poor white kids are the same fucking person. So until you stop as a leader pursuing data you have no control over, and you throw yourself into the factors you can control, which is growing teacher credentials based on who they want to become. Based on who they want to become, who teachers want to become. That's why I work so well with your teachers. Because for the first time, they're seen. I see them. I don't make them feel like they're seen like you do. I see them. And boy, once I get behind, it's over. It's over because they know the work is real. And the only thing we can measure, baby, is are you in position to deliver your strongest instruction? What are the conditions that facilitate that? So I'm telling you, teachers don't make excuses. Teachers are doing everything you tell them to focus on. And that's why so few schools are about power. All you're about is saviorism and mission. It's like a hospice. Like Make-A-Wish, St. Jude's, the Mayo Clinic, they got that shit down. Let them have that. But the fact that you, leaders, describe the reputation of your school, the results of your school through factors you have no control over, that is not leadership on any day of the week or in any time in history. But in education, it sure feels like it is because everybody's doing it. Your teachers are not the problem. Your teachers are a reflection of you. Whatever you see going on by and large at a school, just say, oh, no shit, I'm either you. What? I'll have a piece. I do, but it's an old piece. I have to do an episode on this. I call it Leadership's Reflective Eye. Like when I got to my school, I heard a lot of bad kids, these bad kids, these bad kids, these bad kids, these bad kids. And then I asked myself, what have I done or not done to cause that situation? What have I said or not said to cause that situation? What have I confronted or not confronted to cause that situation? And what I realized is that it comes down to what I'm talking about. From that moment on, there was never any reference to poverty at any staff meeting. I didn't give a shit what the district said. You hear stories over and over again, man. I call it 19%. Plouffe knew. Copy the shit at 19% opacity. Because I got in trouble for not giving shit out once. So district sends some shit about poverty and blah, blah, blah. All the shit it has nothing to do with leadership. I'm here building a team of professional experts. What has poverty got to do with it? That's like you deciding at your local restaurant to give me a lower level of service because I got a little hole right here or a little bit of dust on my shoulder. Our leaders are so tied to demographics that kids have to literally qualify for a teacher's strongest instruction. In just about every school in America, the reputation is based on zip code, culture, race, demographics. And you think that's heroic hardship, that there's nothing noble about that. Nothing noble about that. And the only way to change that is you got to pull your head out of demographics and do what follows naturally. Be about the teachers you hired, not the kids' circumstances you hide behind. I want to thank you for joining me for this another episode of Conversations in Color with Unfold the Soul. I do PD. You see where the direction of my work is going. Just real. It's just got to be real. Just real. And if you're interested in partnering, follow the links below. Otherwise, baby, I will see you back here next week. I'm going to challenge you to do a little bit of what scares you, baby. Wait, let me get fancy again. Hold on. Do and may the bridges I burn light the way. Fancy. I'm so proud of myself.
And I am unfolded so